Cheryl, your defense there in the second half, particularly in that fourth quarter, just really turned it up a notch. What was the emphasis there that you were trying to tell your team just about really locking in on that side?
Yeah, I think once we, settled in after setting records in the wrong direction, we spent all of halftime, sort of figuring out how we could defend better and, defend the paint and, address what their concerns were. Obviously, the video really helps. And so it was a collaborative effort. I asked them what they wanted to do in some of the, schemes. And so it was collaborative. They were all engaged. And, we cleaned up guarding, probably the most difficult play for any team in the league to guard, which is their flat action for AT, where they invert the ball screen and they, take your smallest player and go ball screen. That's what she had, 18 points in the first half or 16, whatever it was. Once we solved that a little bit, made that a little harder, they went to other areas in their offense, and we were mostly prepared for some of that. So credit to the players. 47 points is a lot of points. We were disappointed in that, and we hung in there. I didn't think we played great offensively. Credit to Phoenix. We know that they're physical. It's kind of crazy. A total of 10 free throws in the game. Nobody can complain, I guess, right? There was no big discrepancy, 6-4. But no, I just thought our toughness and just finding our footing, and we knew it might take a little bit. This is the first time we've seen this group as a whole, the Phoenix team whole. The other teams that we saw didn't look anything like this, and so we knew it would be a learning experience for us.
Congrats on the win, Coach.
Thank you.
Court seemed to just be awesome in the second half, especially in that inverted ball screen, like you were saying. Just how impactful was she on the defensive end to kind of right that ship of them scoring points in the paint? And
well, she was a part of the conversation at halftime, and she's like, can we try this? Can we do this? And can we? So, she kind of put her money where her mouth was and tried to kind of, change things for us and make things a little more difficult. So she was our deflection winner, career high 5 steals. I think tied a franchise record in steals. So yeah, no, Court was terrific.
And Masha has been getting praises from teammates, you kind of all season, but to come up in a game like this where she hasn't played in the first round and just be the impact that she was, what can you say about Masha?
Yeah, didn't play in the first round, didn't play in the first half, and we just got to the point where we felt like we just needed something different, and Mosh rose to the occasion for us. Her 8 minutes were the best 8 minutes of the game. And so credit to Mosh for being ready and being big. She did what she needed to do, getting a jump ball when we needed it, the O boards, the loose defensive rebounds. It was very, very impactful 8 minutes. I'm happy for Mosh.
So with Courtney, she does seem to really be able to just turn things on in the second half. How does that give you confidence knowing that that's the player you're going to see as one who just can shoot lights out and all of that more in the second half?
That's one-sided. That's all Courtney. That's not how I think. I go by what I see. And if I see a first half that isn't great, I don't take that leap of faith that she takes. I'm hopeful. I'm always cautiously optimistic. But I don't hold that as a guarantee. What I appreciate about Courtney was, again, just listening and, just kind of diagnosing and kind of believing us when we tell her, there are certain things available and that we needed aggression. You have to be able to have aggression against these guys. And Courtney did it for us, even though she's one of the smallest players on the court. She got to good spaces and, player of the game for us.
Cheryl, this is a Phoenix team that, given all the traveling they've been doing and having a hard game the other night. Over here.
Oh, shit. What are you doing over there? There's so many seats here, Pat. My bad. I was like, I hear his voice.
Give me a second here. Oh, boy. given all the travel Phoenix has done playing a hard game the other night, this is the team that should have been tired but didn't play tired the first 3 quarters. I was wondering if you guys ran a lot on them in the fourth quarter. I wonder if part of that was to finally just tire them out.
No, that might have been something that happened, but we wanted to play off our defense. We wanted to do that in the first quarter. So being able to play off our defense and getting stops and getting rebounds and going, that was the product of that. And, getting the separation when we did, and, K-Mac's big 3, off kick out, that kind of really gave us some control. It's a great game. I thought both teams, did a lot of things they wanted to get done, and now we go look at some things, and then obviously Tuesday's game will be just as hard.
Hey, Cheryl, just kind of back to Masha a little bit. Like, what goes into that decision down the stretch? I mean, you put her in, I think, with like 4 minutes to go, and she hadn't played, and Alana's the defensive player of the year. But how do you kind of just go through your head and work through what you need in that moment and the confidence to go to her in that spot?
Well, she played earlier in the quarter. She kind of wrapped the second. She was out when we tried to get Fee a little bit of time. Was thrilled that we got Fee off the floor for 6 minutes. And that started that fourth quarter, allowed us to do that. So her minutes in the fourth, how she played and the impact that she had, and then missing a defensive rebound was kind of the final straw. That we said, this was not, it can't be. If we're going to win, we've got a defensive rebound. And so, we thought Mosh might be able to help us out in that area. She also helped us out on the offensive rebound. So, and again, that jump ball. So that's kind of what went into it. Just I like the quality of her minutes.
Coach, I was wondering if you could talk about the growth of this group individually and collectively. They can do a lot of their own problem solving, it sounds like. And it's obviously you've guided that, but to reach that point where they can really help make those decisions.
Yeah. Well, and they did it a lot last year. That's why I knew they were special. They problem solve together. They don't finger point. So think about the worst moments of the game for us, which was most of the first half. You didn't go back to the locker room with, people blaming. They went right into listening and like, what can we do together? Who needs to do what? And it's a mature group, emotionally mature. I didn't do anything to bring that along. That's just who they've always been. Sometimes you unite a group through their disdain for me. I think that's also one way to do it. So there's probably a little bit of that too. Thanks. Yeah, you're welcome.